Well, this is a tale of our submarine. They were here for a long, long time. It's Ocean's Gate. They toured it for a 3-hour tour. A 3-hour tour. Yeah, it might be shitty of me to say this, but you know something? When the news feed for the last 4 days has been clogged up with this thing about 5 rich people on a submarine who went down to visit the Titanic, and then all of a sudden they're gone. Wow, this is world news tonight. This is eyewitness news. This is news all over the place. Fact of the matter is, if it wasn't rich people, if it was like an our gang thing where me, Stymie, Spanky, and Farina had welded together 2 fucking garbage cans and went down the ocean, nobody'd give a fuck. And to be honest with you, I don't give a fuck. I mean, okay, 5 people are probably gonna die. But you know, here it is again. You know, 5 rich people decided to go do something, sort of like the whole Bezos dick-shaped rocket ship. Like I'd be upset if that exploded too, right? I don't give a fuck. They live with rules that aren't our rules. Our rules don't apply to them. But like I said, if they weren't rich and all this other stuff, nobody would even give a shit about this on the news. This is like a horrible fucking thing. Yeah, it is a horrible thing when you come right down to it. But is it worthy to take up all the fucking news feeds and shit like that? I don't get it. Hey, maybe they were swallowed by a kaiju or a megalodon. Maybe some sea monster swallowed them. Who the fuck knows? But like I said, I don't really give a shit. I got my own life to live. I could care less about rich people playing with other people's money and getting stuck in a submarine. I honestly don't even know how the fuck I'm going to make it into the winter the way things are going. I mean, everything's going up. Just got my gas bill. I haven't had my heat on in 6 weeks, and it's half the price of when it was when the heat was on. So that's up. I can hardly wait to get my adjusted electric bill at the utilities company because nobody puts a fucking rein on these people because it's corporate America. We got to pay. They got us by the balls, right? Well, you know something? Fuck that. On to better things. I did watch the last Dark Side of the Ring with the Doink story. I know Matt Bourne was a very troubled individual. I also know what they left out was that Matt Bourne was brought into I guess it was Georgia Championship Wrestling to basically team with Arn Anderson, but he fucked up there and left, and then the Road Warriors were brought in to be managed by Precious Paul Ellering. So that sort of screwed Arn out of his shot right there. I had read about the thing with him and Hacksaw Jim Duggan at the Pro Wrestling Syndicate show and how basically it got out of hand and he ran out of the building. I know he created Doink. I know he fucked up in the WWF or WWE with the whole Doink thing, and that was passed to Steve Kern because basically with the amount of makeup in a freight rig, anybody can be a clown. Then it was passed to Ray Apollo, who was an independent wrestler from Sparta, New Jersey, used to come into the flea market and bring Dink with them, and I think he was smart enough to actually copyright the gimmick. McMahon actually didn't copyright the gimmick. I believe Ray did and owns the gimmick now. But, you know, they keep exposing more and more stuff, and I'm thinking, what else are they going to do? I know Matt was screwed up. I think I mentioned that when I was talking about the Buzz Sawyer thing about how his signing bonus for Mid-Atlantic was Wahoo McDaniel toss him an 8-ball. So it's kind of fucked up. But I was just going through my shit, and I found this. The very first Jack Ketchum book I ever read, off-season, you can't see the black print. And it says the ultimate horror novel, and it pretty much is, because guys from New York and New Jersey would probably appreciate this. If you remember a place called Passaic Book Center, and that's, you know, it was on the ass end of Passaic going off Route 21, right onto Main Avenue, and there it was, like almost quarter of a block long, I think. They had just about everything, comic books, magazines, and paperbacks, and I found that in there. And I had no fucking clue what I was getting into, because with Jack stuff, you sort of get like into it. You're like, holy shit, I can't fucking read anymore. He's that type of writer. The interesting thing about this particular book is it's censored, as was his book Ladies' Night, as was Richard Lehman's first book, The Woods Are Dark. The publisher took umbrage to certain stuff and removed it. And Jack had since released off-season back with the stuff that was taken out of it. And like I said, Jack was in Livingston, I was in West Orange. The towns butted up against each other. Jack was a little bit older than I was, and his parents had Candy Magazine store in Livingston, and that's where I bought my comic books and monster magazines and stuff like that. And that's how I discovered Jack in the novel. Then I met him at Chiller Theater, and we became friends. And he always, pushed me and inspired me to do better with writing and stuff. He was a huge fan of the Gunfighters of the Drunken Master, which is being worked on now, because we found out that when it was originally put out, certain liberties were taken by the publisher to remove certain things. So this is all going to be tidied up with a prologue to it. That may be available in a month or so. But everything Jack wrote, just about everything Jack wrote except Off Season, had a movie made about it. The Offspring, The Woman, Lost, The Girl Next Door. And Jack's whole thing was the monsters were the people that lived next to you. That's who the monsters were. And Jack's stuff is really pretty cringeworthy. I think his last book was a book called I Am Sam or I Am Not Sam. I have it in the other room. I don't know where it is. But that was his last book, where basically a woman sort of regresses into a young girl, and it skirts a couple issues which are really creepy and sleazy. But hey, Jack knew what nerves to touch and how to pull your strings. And sadly, I miss Jack every day. I'm glad I had that one last opportunity to have one last drink and dinner with him before he left us. Really, really great horror writer, great all-around guy, and like I said, I miss Jack every day. This just reminded me when I was moving some stuff about, that Jack is no longer with us and the impact he had on my life and a lot of other people's lives. I know I've been off lately. I got a lot of shit coming down my throat right now with personal fucking problems and personal issues, and like I said, wondering how I'm going to get through the next year, because they're claiming the utilities bills here are going to double, and it's like, where do you get the money from when you're on a fixed income? The thing is, I'm not so sure where I'm going anymore, because I honestly haven't sold a magazine in a couple months. I haven't sold any books in a couple months. I don't know if the interest is no longer there, or I got to keep pushing it every 5 minutes, which I really don't want to do. We've been trying to get Grindhouse Resurrection on the internet, and my girl Lorena has been working on it for the last 2 weeks, and I'm ready to throw in the towel, because she's doing this on her own time, and no matter what she does, it just doesn't seem to work. So I don't know. Everybody tells you how easy it is to self-publish. Yeah, fuck you, it is not. So we're hoping to get it done, but I'm just like, is there the interest there? Should I keep doing this stuff? I don't even know anymore. I mean, the other side of the coin is, with everything I do, there's no reviews, there's no what I like, what I don't like, because nobody says nothing. I mean, I'm happy you buy the magazine, but it would be nice if you said what you liked, what you didn't like, or, what articles are good and which articles, maybe aren't so good. I mean, we're all trying our best here, and it'd be, really nice to get some feedback. But again, I don't know. I had the same problem with Grindhouse Purgatory. You get a bunch of fucking weird-ass reviews on Amazon, but nobody's really telling you what they like or dislike about the magazine. So that tends to be a problem for me and the other writers, because we really like to know if people are digging what we're doing. And I really had high hopes for the second issue, because we packed it, and it's like, just sitting here. Got a great review in Shock Cinema, just sitting here. Nobody's said anything. It's real simple, PayPal $15 to Mr. 42nd Street Pete at yahoo.com, and I'll send you out a magazine. If you're missing the first issue, PayPal me $25 and I'll send you out both issues. If you want Two-Fisted Tales of Times Square, just PayPal me $20 and I'll send you out one. Whole Bag of Crazy is running out, and I don't know if I'm going to reissue it, to be honest with you. The way things are going, I have no idea, but what I got left, I'll sell for $25 shipped. Again, Mr. 42nd Street, MR42ND, Street spelled out, Pete spelled out, at yahoo.com. I'm not trying to twist anybody's arm. If you're interested, fine. If you're not, that's fine too. I'm just saying, this is what's going on, and it's sort of frustrating that I'm like feeling sort of mired right now, and I'm also mired in what's been going on with this channel, because with shit going on in my life and wondering which end is going to be up and what's going to happen the next day. I don't even want to go into detail what's happened this week, because it's been a clusterfuck from last Sunday, family-wise and otherwise. So, it's really hard to concentrate on doing anything creative when you got all this other shit spinning around your head, and I apologize for that. And maybe next week I'll have some better content. But right now, honestly, I'm falling asleep at 8 o'clock at night. I'm so fucking tired and frustrated about the inability of this country to take care of its people and the complete focus on the two parties that seem to be just taking each other down. You were elected to serve us, not suck each other's dicks. Remember that. So, on that happy note, have a good weekend. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for tuning in. And hopefully I'll have some better content next week, because I hate, working half-assed, but honestly, I've been stymied. I just don't have the fucking ambition to do anything. And it's not your fault, it's my fault. So until next time, my friends, stay safe and we'll catch you on the flip side.